الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. So on page 95 from the Believer's Handbook, Seeking Knowledge, we're on the first full paragraph on page 95. So the author said, the other important thing you need to know at the beginning of this phase is how to change the verbs from the first person to second person to third person. And obviously, first person is al-mutakallim, the person who's speaking. And the second person is al-mukhatab, is the person who's being spoken to. And the third person is the al-ghaib, which is the person or thing being talked about. So we know that there's always in every single conversation there can only exist three people. The person speaking, the person being spoken to, and another person or thing being spoken about. And that's it. So first, second, third person. All right. This is obviously going to be completely different from the English language. In Arabic, the pronouns are called dhamir. Dhamir is the singular form, dhama'ir, the plural form. All right, and al-dhamir is like mada fi dhamir, and he's saying that something that's hidden within. It's not out completely. It's not manifest amongst the people, you know. So you say, like for example, you say like an ukhfi mada fi dhamiri. I'm hiding what's in myself, like deep within myself. So it's something that's not out amongst the people, not out in plain sight. Because that's why when you take like for example Ahmed is clear, but then you like make it a dhamir and it becomes huwa, right? So it's like you're doing like a type of like ikhfa, right? Like you're kind of like hiding Ahmed in the dhamir, right? So he said, and there are two types. The first type are the pronouns that are separate from the word, and they basically in Nahu you have two types of dhama'ir. You have al-muttasil wal-munfasil. Muttasil, it means that they're connected to the word. Munfasil, it means that they're separate from the word. And what's the difference between the two is that the ones that are separate, they can be used as a mubtada wal khabar. Like you can say, anta rajulun salih. All right, anta rajulun salih. But you can't say t or ka rajulun salih. All right, because of the mirror muttasil, it has to be what? It has to be muttasil bi shay, So you have like, for example, like tadhabu. Tadhabu is what? Ta here means what? That sun is beaming in my face. Ta means anta. Alright, but it's muttasil, not munfasil. Munfasil would be anta. So anta tadhabu, where you can say both of them together, the munfasil and muttasil. So that's what I mean here by the first type are the pronouns that are separate from the word. And it's from right to left, so you have to go to the far end. Or it starts off because you start off with the first person, then you go to the second person, then you go to the third person. So ana wa nahnu. Alright, so you got the first person singular, first person plural, ana wa nahnu. Wa anta, wa anti, wa antuma, wa antum, wa antunna. Alright, so these are all second person. Anta, there's a second person, not first. Second person masculine. Anti, second person what? Feminine. Alright, antuma is the second person dul, like I guess you call it dul or what? It's for two, right? Because in the Arabic you separate between the plural. The plural is three or more. Three or more. We might have to shut that door just until that sun goes to shut it just a little bit. Don't shut it all the way. Because I can't even see the book. Yeah, keep. Yeah. All right. Huh? Yes? That's fine. I can see the book now, so. All right, so antum is going to be the second person, plural, masculine. Antunna, second person, plural, feminine. Antunna, so this is for a group of women. If you're speaking to a group of women, you would say antunna. If you're speaking to a group of men, you would say antum. If you're speaking to a mixed group, like if you're speaking at one of these Islamic centers, and they always have all the, the mixed groups, right? Because they mix everything, men and women everywhere. So then you would also say antum. All right, antum. Even if there's just one man mixed up amongst the women, you would still refer to them as antum. Respect for the man. All right. Yeah, because could you imagine one man mixing there, you're like, Antunna?
There's a guy.
And like, hey, what about me? You know, so yeah, so no, if there's one man mixed amongst the group, you still say Antum. All right, and then the third person, Hua, Wahia, Wahoma, Wahomahan. So Hua is the third person masculine. All right, it's for a person and for a thing, singular thing. It's third person singular masculine. All right. And Hia, third person singular feminine. All right, Homa, third person dual. All right, for man and female. All right, and Hom, third person masculine. Third person masculine plural. All right, and Hunna, third person feminine. Third person plural, feminine. That's a feminine form. All right, so same thing. If you're speaking about a group that's not present, Hom. If you're speaking about females that are not present, then you say Hunna. All right, as far as Hia, you can also use Hia for a plural of things. Like, for example, Hua Kitabi. Hua Kitabi. And you can say Hia Kutubi. Hia Kutubi. So you're doing the plural form of Kitab. So you say Hia Kutubi. All right. So you use the feminine also for plural. For plural. All right. So then he said the second type are the pronouns that are connected to the verb. All right. So these pronouns that we just took, they act as what? They generally you're going to see them as the mubtada of a verb of a sentence. Sorry, of a jumlatun ismiyah. Because the jumlatun ismiyah is made up of what? Mubtada wal khabar. All right, and starts with a mubtada. It means it has to start with a noun. I guess that's what you say in English, right? All right, it has to start with an ism. That's why it's called a jumlatun ismiyah. So you can say ana talib. Ana talib, and ana would be the mubtada, and talib would be what? The khabar. All right. But you can't do that with these the connected ones, as we're going to see. So he said we have the ones that are connected to the past tense and others that are connected to the present tense. These can be seen in the following chart and the chart below. So we have, like, for example, I put the damir, the munfasl ala yasar on the left, and then I put the examples of how they're seen in the verbs on the right. So if you say like ana adhabu, ana dhahabtu. Nahnu.
So what's the right side?
This is the damir, al-munfasil.
But it's
to let you know what.
No, current, like present, happening.
No, it depends on the verb.
Well,
the damir is a noun.
Yeah, I know, but like
damir is they don't have any time. The time comes from the verb. It doesn't come from a noun. Even in the English language, nouns have no time frame. The time frame always comes from a verb.
I know. I'm saying on the right side, we haven't taken it with, like, all we took was the middle. We haven't took anything on the right.
I know. This is just to show you what you need to know. This is not.
So what's the?
It's not an Arabic lesson. This.
What's the difference from
Adhabu now or in the future? Dhahabtu in the past. Yeah. All right. So ana adhabu, ana dhahabtu. Nahnu nadhabu, nahnu dhahabna. Anta tadhabu, anta dhahabta. Anti tadhabina. So if you're speaking to a female, anti tadhabina. Anti dhahabti. Antuma tadhabani. Antuma dhahabtuma. Antum tadhabun. Antum dhahabtum. Antunna dhahabata. What did I put here? Oh yeah, tadhabna. Can't even read my own book, right? All right, Antuna tadhabna tadhabn. You say like tadhabn if you're stopping, and if you're going to continue the sentence, what? Antuna tadhabna ila al-masjidi. Like that. All right, Antuna dhahabtunna. All right, huwa yadhhabu, huwa dhahaba. Hiya tadhhabu, hiya dhahabat. Huma yadhhabani, huma dhahaba. All right, dhahaba. Hum yadhhabun, hum dhahabu. Hunna yadhhabn, hunna dhahabn. All right, yadhhabn wa dhahabn. All right, that's for a female, for a group of females that are not present. All right, so these are what you have to do is just like you have to take this verb form and write it into a sentence, right? These all into sentences, just memorize it. Memorize it. I would memorize it with the dhamir so it gets stuck in your head. Obviously, in the Arabic language, you don't speak like that. Ana adhabu, ana dhahabtu. You say what? Adhabu, dhahabtu. Without saying ana. Because when you put ana, you change the whole grammatical structure of the sentence. You change it from a jumlatul al-fi'liya to jumlatun what? Ismiyah. And you change the now, instead of it starting with a verb, now it starts with a mubtada. And you're changing the whole structure of the sentence. But just to do this, to memorize. To say, like, for example, أنا أذهب إلى المسجد إيش كل يوم. Alright, كل يوم. أنا ذهبت إلى المسجد في الصباح or في الفجر. Alright, نحن نذهب, and just make sentences out of it, just so you can practice and memorize these verbs being used correctly. Because this is one of the biggest problems that people have with the verbs. Because in English you only have even in English, the verbs are very problematic. But here, at least, there's a form. There's a set form that everything's going to follow. But you just need to memorize that form. All right? In English, obviously, you have, like, stupid things like, for example, go, he goes, he went. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So, so if you got, like, you don't have any issues with the English verbs, all you got to do is just sit down and memorize this. Because it's a set pattern. It doesn't change. All right, so he said, once you get this information down, you will get moving. I want you to understand, like, how these verbs work. Khalas, man, life is so much easier. Because once you know the verbs, and you know how to use them in sentences, then you know how to use the ism fa'il, the ism maf'ul, and the masdar, which is coming right now. Then khalas, man, your vocabulary will quadruple within, like, 3 months. However many words you struggle to memorize, once you can do that, once you got the verbs. Because obviously there's, the first thing that we start to memorize when we learn any language is we start to memorize nouns, like names of things. Like a window, a table, a door, we start to memorize these common things. But, the last thing that we start to memorize after we memorize all these, like, things, now we need to know actions, like, what are we doing? Okay, what are we going to do with this window? Or we close it and we what? We open it. So how do we say that in the Arabic language? How do we say open the window? Or I opened the window? Anybody?
If I remember my sentence I wrote, I would say it.
Come on. فتحت النافذة. All right. And you say, like, for example, if it was saying closing the window, what? غلقت النافذة. All right. And same thing with, like, if you talk about a book. We know a book in the Arabic language is kitab. But we need to know an action. What do we do with a book? There's a lot of actions that we can do with a book. We can pick a book up. We can put a book down. We can read a book. We can memorize a book. We can study a book. All right, so we need to know these actions. Like, what are we doing with this book? So how do we say I picked the book up? What? No, picked it up, not put it down. Huh? No, like hasaltuhu, it means that you procured it, you obtained it. But, like, to pick it up from the table, like akhadtu, you just say, like, for example, let's just keep it simple, like akhada. All right, akhadtu kitab. All right, or if you want to say, like, you picked it up, like to raise it up, you say rafa'tu kitab. Because maybe the book was on the ground and you wanted to put it up in a higher place so dirt and stuff, nothing gets on it. You say rafa'tu kitab. But if you're just saying I took the book, like akhadtu kitab. I placed the book, wada'tu kitab. All right, I studied the book, what? Darastu kitab. I read the book, what? Qara'tu kitab. I memorized the book, what? Hafidhtu kitab. I understood the book, what? Fahimtu kitab. So, it's just like that. Same thing, we got food. You can do a lot of different actions with food. Cook the food, eat the food, serve the food, throw the food in the garbage, stuff for the law. We shouldn't be doing that, but it's just, it happens. All right, give the food to cats. All right, that's a little bit hard. But all right, let's just start with the easy stuff. Cooking the food, what? Huh? Yeah, from طبخ. طبخت الطعام. All right, I ate the food. أكلت الطعام. All right, I served the food. Let's see if you can get this one. أنا قدمت الطعام على ضيوف. قدمت الطعام على ضيوف. All right, what else? I threw the food in the garbage. What? You can say رميت أو طرحت. رميت الطعام في المزبلة أو في القمامة. Yeah. So that's it. So that's the whole thing. So this is what, when you start to get, like, first you need to just memorize like a lot of nouns. But then you're going to start to think, like, what am I doing with these nouns? Column, what am I doing with a pen? All right, what am I doing with a book? What am I doing with with whatever? Just look at the things around you and the things that you know. And then that's when you start to learn. Once you get the verbs, follows these patterns. Follows these patterns. All right. So he said, if you have a series that is 6 books, and I'm talking about a series, I skipped the sentence. Generally, the books of Ta'bir are about 4 to 6 books for a series. If you have a book that is a series, if you have a series that is 6 books, you should learn all of the information in the charts by the end of the first book. I wouldn't say the first book, because the first book is generally, most of these, this is a mistake on my part. What I meant, because the first book that I studied was the second book. I didn't study the first book. Because a lot of the people that go into the books, if you already know how to read and write Arabic, then you'll skip the first book most of the times. So by the first book, I mean the second book, not the actual first book, because the first book is only mainly just getting you to read and write Arabic. But once you can read and write Arabic and now you're ready to get into conversation and try to start using the language, by the end of that book that you study, you should already know all of these charts. All of the charts, all the verbs, all the different forms, fa'ala, fa'ala, ifta'ala, istaf'ala, all of this, you should know all of these things by the end of the first book. All right, in fact, you should really learn all of this information by the end of the first 4 units of the book. If you have not learned this information by the end of the first 4 chapters, you should reassess your study habits or reassess the teacher you have chosen to teach you. If the teacher has covered this information, the problem is you. And y'all can't say nothing because I know I said by the first 4 units, and I said this because when I studied with Abdul Hakim and Damaj, by the time we finished the first 4 units, I quit the lesson. I didn't need to study it anymore because he had given us so much information within those first 4 units. I was like, I'm cool. I can understand the Sheikh now. I don't need this lesson anymore. And I went off to start studying other, like, actual books, But so that's based on my experience. But at least by the end of the first book. If you're studying in America, because obviously I'm writing this book based on my experience, which was in Damaj, which is not going to be the same experience that you guys experience studying in America while you're working a job, while you're paying bills, while you're dealing with stupid people and crackheads in the street all the time. So it's a big difference. So I would say by the end of the first book, you should have all of this stuff down. There are a lot of other things you will need to know, but all that will come with time. The only other major aspect of the language you need to be familiar with in the early stages is the changing of the verb to its different noun forms. In the Arabic language, you have 3 noun forms that are going to be important for you to know. And they are the masdar, the ism fa'il, and the ism maf'ul. This is actually now from left to right, not from right to left. All right. So the masdar, the ismun fa'il, and the ismun maf'ul. All right. So just like we have the masdar, like daraba, daraban, qatala, qatalan, dhahaba, dhahaban, kharaja, khurujan, akala, what? Aklan, shariba, what? Sharaban. All right, what? What's another one? Darasa, what? No. Well, it's really dirasatan. Dirasatan. Well, you can say darasan, dirasatan. Yeah. Sometimes, a lot of the times, you find words that have 2 or 3 different masadir. 2 or 3 different ones. So it's not unusual for a word to have different masadir, different masdar. So you need to know all of these. Okay? So kharaja, khurujan. Dhahaba, dhahaban. Like that. Alright, ism fa'il. Dhahaba, dhahibun. Ana dhahibun. Ila al-masjid. Kharaja, kharijun. Ana kharijun min al-bayt. أنا خارج من البيت. All right. أكل what? آكل. أنا آكل التفاحة. If you say أنا آكل تفاحتي, but if you put the ضمتين, you say أنا آكل التفاحة. Why? Is it too soon? Too soon for you guys? آكل أنا آكل تفاحتي or أنا آكل التفاحة. What's the difference? Yeah. Because the ism fa'al, it functions as a verb. So if you put like أنا آكل التفاحة, then the تفاحة here is what? مفعول به. It's the object of the verb. But if you say أنا آكل تفاحتي, then it's مضاف إليه.
Go over that in the book.
Nah, you'll go over that without the Hakim yourself.
No, we did.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, أنا كاتب كتابا. Alright. But if you say أنا كاتب كتاب, then it's مضاف إليه. Alright. A good teacher will show you how to use these forms in sentences. Once you have this down, you will start to pick up the language quickly, inshallah. You will start to notice the words and the word forms, and through noticing what form it is, you will know the meaning of the word, even if you never saw that specific word before. So, like for example, like if you know what darasa means, darasa yadrusu, then when you see the word dirasatan, then you're gonna know what dirasatan means, because you know what darasa means. But that's why I said don't say darasan, because darasan can have two meanings. Darasan can mean what? It can mean the habit of the action of studying, or it can mean the action of becoming like for example the threading of a thobe. It starts to become worn out until the thobe starts to fall apart. You say darasa wash your thobe. Darasa wash you a thobe, like the sewing and the thread. So, but dirasatan, it refers back to studying only. So you say a dirasa. All right. Dars refers to the actual lesson itself. You say هذا درس and نحن في الدرس, like we're in a lesson. But the actual action of studying itself is dirasa. Dirasa, You like say like for example like dirasatun, الدراسة في الجامعة سهلة. الدراسة في الجامعة سهلة. What does that mean? Yeah, studying, like the studying in a university is easy. It's easy. All right, because the word sahla actually means what? Well, it refers to like when you're traveling, because it's the type of ground that you travel over. So when you travel over smooth ground, where the camel can move quickly, or the horse or whatever you're traveling on can move quickly, that ground is referred to as sahla. Sahal. All right. So that's what that's originally refers to, and that's why we say like sahal, because it's like traveling on smooth ground when it's easy. All right. Where did I go? I lost my spot. All right, another piece of advice, I guess. Wait, no, inshallah. You will start to notice the words in the word form. All right, yeah, I read that, right? Another piece of advice. I gotta hurry up and finish this now. Another piece of advice that I can give students in this phase is to begin weaning yourself off translation. You can do this by asking the teacher to give you another word in Arabic that is a synonym. In Arabic, it's called muradif. Muradifat. All right. Taraduf, it means that it has a similar, because there's no two words in the Arabic language that have the same meaning. They have similar meanings, but they don't have the same meaning. So you find a word that has the most similar meaning to the word that you have. All right, another word in Arabic that is what? A synonym for one of the new words. You can also write out the meaning in Arabic. Like, for example, if the teacher gives you the word za'ala, and you're like, okay, what does za'ala mean? Za'alan. Then you can say what? It means ghadiba, ghadban. You understand? So like these types of like words like that where you already have, but this is after you have a good, good understanding of the basic words in the Arabic language. In the beginning, the teacher won't be able to give you, synonyms. He has to give it to you in a sentence, and you just understand it from the sentence. But after a while, inshallah, you'll be able to, you got enough words to where he can say, okay, this means this and this means this, and then you can have the synonyms. All right, you can also write out the meaning in Arabic. The definition might be a bit long, but at least you did it in Arabic. The most important thing you can do is put the words in sentences that are in Arabic and that give you a clue to the meaning of a word. Your teacher should help you out with this by checking to make sure your sentences are correct. Everything that you have seen in these charts combined with the advice of the dictionary should be your focus as you study book 2 and book 3. By the time you get to book 4 in this series, if it is necessary, you will want to start transitioning from the Hanswehr dictionary to an Arabic to Arabic dictionary. This will put you in the next phase. And the same thing in the last piece of advice, like when you're writing the sentences, man, write the sentences in a way that you know what the meaning is. All right, like for example, if you say akeltu, don't just say akeltu ta'am. All right, start using the vocabulary for certain types of foods that you need to know. Like for example, in Yemen, obviously we eat a lot of fasulia. So you say akeltu what? A fasulia ma'abayd. All right, what? The subur, or lil iftar or whatever. Like try to start using the words where you understand them. Instead of just saying like شربت الماء, شربت العصير, عصير البرتقال or something, or شربت الشاي, shahi tea, like the white people say, right? Shahi tea. The white girls say this. Shahi tea. Yeah, and it's a Sahara desert, and it's what else do they do? Oh yeah, Sharia law. I love that one. Yeah, man, these Muslims are calling into Sharia law, and like that means Sharia means law, but they're so redundant. So, anyways, but yeah, so put them in sentences where you understand the meaning from the sentence. Put it and contextualize it, and that way you can understand it. Because some words, like for example, ضربت Ahmed. You might just see that, but you're not gonna. If you don't know what it means, you're not gonna understand what it means by the sentence. But if you say, like for example, ضربت أحمد بيدي, أو ضربت أحمد بالعصا, or ضربت أحمد بالمكنسة, or ضربت الأحمد بهدائي, or something that would show like that give you like the meaning, that gives you something like just instead of just saying ضربت أحمد. It's not going to be clear, right? All right, so, and in this way, inshallah, the words will start to stick in your head. But like you always have to go back to your teacher and check them, inshallah. All right, وإلى هنا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.